Let's start off by taking a look at Mew, the main attacker of the deck. With the Memories of Dawn ability, this Pokemon can use the attacks of any of your basic Pokemon in play. We still need the necessary energy to use each attack. The fourth opponent of the day is Lysandre with a colorless and a psychic deck. Possibly Trevenant Break, and that is a huge problem for us, Trevenant Break. Because Trevenant Break very easily knocks out our Bunnelbys, our Durants and our Mews. Certainly the Mews, because of the psychic weakness. That's definitely a problem. Well, actually, the Silent Fear doesn't hit for weakness, I think, because it just puts damage counters on our Pokemon. We start off with Bunnelby, Durant, pardon me, or Durant. And I'm going to promote this here, Durant, maybe not, because we have this special energy. No, I will start off with this Durant, just to go with the chip off potentially. We start off with a pretty bad hand, to be honest. We'll bench the Durant and a Bunnelby. Yeah, as I was saying, the Trevenant doesn't hit for weakness, but that doesn't really matter since the Silent Fear from the Trevenant Break, because Silent Fear still knocks out our Pokemon in 2 hits, except for the Durants themselves. And the Tree Slam actually 1-hit KOs our Bunnelby and our Mew, so not a very good matchup at all. As well as the fact that Trevenant item locks us, so we cannot use things like Puzzle of Time or the hammers. There's a Skyla probably for something like an Ultra Ball to get a Shaman. Opponent start off with a Shaman right there, Floatstone on that Shaman straight away, so we might see a retreat into a Phantom. Discards a Wally. Oh no, we might just get item locked straight away there. There's a Phantom. He must have another Wally in his hand or a VS Seeker for a Wally. And then he's going to item lock us an energy. No, just a pass of the turn. He actually doesn't go for the Wally in his first turn. Well, what was I saying there? Of course he does not. He went with the Skyla. He went with the Skyla. Obviously not. Scratch that. Because he cannot use 2 supporters in the same turn. We get a Mew. A little bit too late. Would have liked to start off with the Mew there. That's okay. We will just attach to the Durant. And now I regret not starting off with the Bunnelby, because my opponent brought down his entire hand size. Let's see. I am going to retreat this Durant. I'm going to retreat the Durant into the Mew. Yes, so that's what we are going to do. We are going to retreat into the Mew, discard that Rainbow Energy, and then Puzzle of Time for that Rainbow Energy. Use our puzzles, so if we get item locked, we at least have used our puzzles. Get that Rainbow Energy back. And then in the next turn, if my opponent benches a Dimension Valley, we can go for the Scrape Down. That's going to be our play here. There's a Trevenant straight away. We might see a Wally. No, it's just a Sycamore. Sycamore is good. I don't mind the Sycamore. Didn't go for the N. Huh, would have loved to see the N actually. And another energy, so I retreated for nothing. We'll see a knockout on our Mew. Too risky there, too risky. Too risky. Well, that is probably GG, to be honest. That is probably GG. We will go for a chip off with this Durant. That's the best we can do. Another Bunnelby. Yeah, we will chip off with the Durant. Discard two cards from my opponent's hands. And then we'll just let this Durant get knocked out. Very, very unfortunate. Just a very, very bad start for us. And my opponent managed to get that Trevenant out, powered up for a Tree Slam in his second turn, which is actually quite good. Even if we still had the Mew, I don't think it would matter at all, because my opponent is just going to start spreading damage around here. He's going to put 30 on our Bunnelbys, and, well, 30 on the Durant, that's a knockout, and 30 on this Durant. So he's going to take 1 prize this turn, and then 3 prizes in the turn after that. That's 4 prizes in 2 turns. There's nothing we can do against that. So just prepare for a very quick loss. Prepare for a very, very quick loss indeed. Our only hope against Trevenant Break is to discard the Break pieces and the Trevenant pieces before my opponent can get them out, is to mill them in the discard pile and also mill the Super Rods for my opponent. We will promote the Bunnelby Maybe we can get an energy for the Bunnelby and mill a little bit more that way. Another Durant, might as well bench it. We need a backup Durant for the next turn. Otherwise we lose in this turn. I'm just going to hang on in there. Try my best as much as I can. Even though it won't matter in the end, I think. There's another Trevenant, so now we cannot even go for a Lysandre and Lysandre out something like a Phantom to break the item lock. It's not possible because my opponent has 2 Trevenants in play with item lock and Shaman with the float stone. So if we Lysandre's Shaman, my opponent can just retreat it into a Trevenant. And Silent Fear for 30 more, 3 prizes from my opponent, and that is it. I'm just going to pass my turn. Maybe I should not have benched this Durant. It's actually a bit of a waste of time here for me. But oh well, let's give my opponent a smile on his face and an easy victory. Yep. Whatever I top deck is going to be a pass of the turn, and it was an Octillery anyways. Nothing useful for us there. Hopefully he goes for the Tree Slam here, not the Silent Fear. And hopefully he does not use that Silent Fear. Yes, he goes for the Tree Slam, goes for the knockouts. Ends the game, ends our pain. And that's it. 2 wins, 2 losses out of these 5 games so far. We are going to go into the final game for today. Hopefully we can end with a nice, sweet victory. The last opponent of the day is going to be Maku04 with a Lightning Psychic, Metal and Colorless deck. Maybe this is Night March, maybe it is Mega Manectric, maybe it is Mega Rayquaza or even Raichu. We get to go first. This is Night March. I'm betting this is Night March. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting match here. We start off with Mew and Durant. Typically I would start off with Mew, but I'm going to promote Durant. Oh, that's my battery. My battery is dying once more. I'm going to start with Durant here because I've got a feeling Mew is going to get knocked out if we start off with it. We'll attach a Rainbow Energy to the Mew. And it did... it's Night March with Journo for some reason. Alright, Journo and Robo Substitutes. Something built of Night March that I haven't seen before. I think I've never seen Robo Subs in Night March before. That is curious. There's a Level Ball and there is a Night Marcher, so we will attach this Rainbow Energy to the Mew. We'll also get out a Remoraid. Yes, there is a Remoraid. Let's get out the Remoraid, attach a Float Stone to the Remoraid, and then let's find another Level Ball from this Trainer's Mail if we can. Can we find another Level Ball? No, we do not. We do find an N, which is actually fantastic because I don't want to discard that Enhanced Hammer. I want to use that Enhanced Hammer to its fullest potential. Discard a DCE from my opponent with that Enhanced Hammer. We get a Crushing Hammer. Too bad we don't get another Level Ball. We do get another Mew though, but we need another Durant for the next turn. There is a VS Seeker, excellent. Or just a Sycamore. No, VS Seeker, we are going to VS Seeker for an N. Don't want to discard the Hammer or the Xerosic with the Sycamore. Dimension Valley, not going to play that Dimension Valley. That only helps my opponent right now. And we will end our turn. Can my opponent knock out this Durant in his first turn with his Night March deck, including the Journo and the Robosubs? There is the Mew from my opponent himself. How well will he draw through his deck? Let's hope he draws really well. Let's hope he draws like 20 cards on his first turn. A Dimension Valley from my opponent. He did manage to find a Dimension Valley and a Sycamore, discarding a Lampent and a VS Seeker, as well as a Max Revive. A little bit strange to play the Max Revive with Mew in his deck, because he has plenty of attackers with that Mew as an extra attacker to copy the Night March attack. Instead, I think he should consider Puzzles if he does not play Puzzles, but he might play Puzzles in addition to the Max Revive. All he needs right now is another Night Marcher in a discard pile, and that will be a knockout on our Durant if my opponent also finds a Fighting Fury belt, but he does not. Our Durant stays alive. I was not expecting that. If I had known that, I would have actually attached the Float Stone to the Durant. Man, I did not expect that. Let's try our luck with the Crushing Hammer. It's a Tails. Well then, let's discard this DCE. Try to run our opponent out of DCEs. As always, your best bet against Night March. Certainly with a mill deck like this, all we need to do is discard their DCEs and their puzzles, and we are set for a nice win. We are good to go for a nice win. Another DCE is going to knock out our Durant, but I will discard the DCE once again. So my opponent is left with only 2 more DCEs. We can actually afford to do that. We don't really need to use our scrape down just yet. And we have 1 more VS Seeker for another N in the next turn. What do we top deck? A Bunnelby. I will bench the Bunnelby. I'm going to VS Seeker for a Xerosic away the DCE. And I think I might as well guide my top deck with the puzzle here. Yes, let's guide the top deck with the puzzle. What do we top deck? Ooh, Teammates. Don't mind if I do. I will take a Teammates, and I will actually take a... Well, it doesn't matter if we use a Teammates. We are reshuffling our deck anyways. So we'll go for the Teammates in the next turn, and I will retreat. Or I could encounter Rototiller, Burrow, Wild River. Do I want to let this Mew get knocked out? Or do I want to search for... Well, I don't want to search because we are going to top deck the Teammates. Let's see here. I could retreat into the Bunnelby, but then the Bunnelby is stuck in the active spot. So instead, I will let the Mew get knocked out and end my turn. I think my opponent will need to use a Sycamore to find another DCE. Let's just hope he does. He has used 1 VS Seeker so far. He has probably 3 more VS Seekers to use his Sycamores. A Trainer's Mail, that can definitely find him another Sycamore or a Trainer's Mail. Or a VS Seeker. There is a VS Seeker, a golden VS Seeker, a secret rare VS Seeker. Very nice. VS Seeker for the Sycamore. Yes, there is a Sycamore. He is going to help us out. Discard some more cards right here. Discards 7 cards with that Sycamore. Was that a Shaman? He actually discarded Shaman. There's a Bronzong as well. Benches the Bronzor. Does that mean he runs the Super Odds or something like that to get back the Bronzong? It also means he plays Metal Energies. That's also what that means. And that also means he can recover energies from the discard pile, which we do not want to see. That can... that actually changes our strategy here. That changes our strategy. Just a Metal Energy to the Joltik, so we will stay alive for this turn. Yeah, and a retreat into the Mew. Wow. Retreat into the Mew. Encounter for... what can my opponent get? Possibly the Bronzong if he plays a 2-2 line of Bronzong. And he can get the Bronzong for the next turn to attach that Metal Energy. No, just goes for a Joltik. And that's it, a pause of the turn. Now we get the Teammates, but we don't need it. I was expecting to get knocked out there. Well then, let's see. We shall VS Seeker for an N. And try to find a Durant, as well as maybe the Octillery. Shuffle back the Teammates into our deck. And there's a Hammer, Enhanced Hammer, another Durant. But that is all. We don't get anything else. I will bench this Durant, and I'm going to go for possibly a chip off. Let's go for a chip off. Let's see here. We could Rototiller, we could chip off. Actually, I'm going to go for a Burrow. We might be able to discard a DCE that way. It's a small chance, but we do discard a Metal Energy. So that's 1 more energy in the discard pile. Now my opponent definitely needs the Bronzong to get those energies back. There is a DCE, which will be a knockout on our Mew. Night March for the knockout. 280 damage because of weakness. However, we have our hammers here. We have our hammers to discard the energies from our opponent. So we will hammer away the DCE. Be gone, DCE. And then we'll take a look at the Trainer's Mail. A Level Ball. Yes, we have an N, so we don't need to get a draw supporter. We will Level Ball for a Durant. Hopefully we have another Durant in our deck. Yes, we do have 2 more Durants. We could go for the Octillery as well, but we need to start using our scrape down. We'll bench another Mew, and then we will end once more. Put 2 more cards back into my opponent's deck, but that's okay. I want to find some more energies for my Pokemon here. We get just a regular Grass Energy and an Escape Rope. What do we do? I'm going to attach this energy to the Bunnelby. So we could burrow with the Bunnelby, and then we'll just scrape down, hopefully discard the last DCE from our opponent. We discarded another Bronzor, and I didn't really see the rest there. But another Bronzor is good, that's definitely good, which actually reveals to me that my opponent plays a 2-2 line. I think he plays another Bronzong. He could play a 2-1 line of Bronzors and Bronzong. There's Metal Energy, again enough to go for a Night March. But all we need to do is 3 more scrape downs. That's all we need to do to take this game here. So we will promote the Mew. Would love to get a puzzle. A puzzle for some... Oh, we get a hammer. Let's discard this Metal Energy if we can. We cannot. We cannot discard that Metal Energy. Huh. Well then, let's see here. I'm going to Brigette. I'm going to grab the last Durant, and then I'm going to have to use this puzzle here. Puzzle, what do we need? We need... Actually, I'm going to top deck the Level Ball so I can get an Octillery. Too bad that we missed out here on a scrape down. We really needed to scrape down this game to be comfortable in taking this game. Now it's not so clear who is going to win this, so we will Escape Rope into our Bunnelby, burn that Escape Rope. That way we can, in the next turn, draw into 1 more card with our Octillery that we are going to get from the Level Ball. My opponent escapes ropes into the Mew, obviously. That's the obvious choice there for my opponent, and we will burrow once and burrow 1 more time. After that, we discard a Lysandre. And what else do we discard? We discard Trainer's Mail. I would love to Lysandre out that Bronzor. A Lysandre on that Bronzor would be superb. That would force my opponent to find a Floatstone or a DCE for that Bronzor. There is a retreat into the Mew as expected, and we'll see a Night March for the knockouts. We will promote our Remoraid for now. Put that Remoraid into the active spots and try to find some energies with our Octillery. Maybe a Teammates. Teammates would be fantastic to get. So we'll draw into 4 more cards from this Octillery. I think we should be able to find a Teammates or at least a Lysandre to buy us a turn. If not, that's pretty darn unlucky, since we haven't seen any Lysandres yet or any Teammates. So we have 2 of each to draw into and only 21 cards left. Oh my goodness, we did not draw into it. We did not draw into it. Well, at least we get an energy, so we can scrape down once more. At least we can do that. Alright, let's go for it. Let's scrape down. We need to do it right here, right now. Scrape down 4 more cards. Bring my opponent down to 5 cards, discarding... it wasn't an energy. It wasn't an energy. Which means my opponent has a DCE somewhere. 1 more DCE somewhere. There's the Bronzong. The Bronzong comes out to play. Now my opponent can start accelerating the metal energies from the discard pile. Oh boy, this is going to be so close. We need to get a scrape down off in the next turn, or it's GG. We need to get a scrape down off in the next turn, which means we need to find a puzzle. That's all we need to get a scrape down off. Actually, that's not enough. We need to find a Lysandre. We need to find a Lysandre. Let's attach this to our Bunnelby. Let's thin out our deck a bit if we can, but there's no more Pokemon in our deck. Yeah, we need to find a Lysandre here. So I'm going to burn this puzzle. We need to Lysandre out the Bronzong, because if we go for a scrape down, my opponent's down to 0 cards, and then he can knock out our Pokemon before we pass the turn to deck him out. So we need to find a Lysandre. It is paramount that we find a Lysandre. And there is the Lysandre. We are going to top deck the Lysandre from the draws from the Octillery. That is fantastic. Let's just hope my opponent doesn't have a Floatstone anywhere. Let's just hope he does not have a Floatstone anywhere. Did we discard a Floatstone? I think we did not. Well, this is either GG for my opponent or GG for us. So let's burrow. Burrow once, discard an Ultra Ball. Burrow twice, discard. What's it gonna be? an Ace Trainer, so no DCE there. My opponent can actually attach DCE to this bronze or to this bronze zone to potentially retreat it. He could do that right now, and then in the next turn he can attach. No! My opponent had a switch in hand. Are you freaking kidding me? We lost this game. We lost this game after all, just because we missed out on the scrape down. Well, what did we miss out on? No, if we had the scrape down, we would have still lost. We already established that. We missed out somewhere along the line on getting a scrape down. I think somewhere we used a Bunnelby. Yeah, we missed out on one scrape down somewhere, and that basically screwed us over. So close there to taking the game against Night March. Pardon me. My opponent did 1,500 damage to us. My goodness, that's a lot of damage. Well, that's going to be it then for this video. We end with a loss, but it is a pretty close loss if you ask me. I think if we would replay this last match, I think it would go either way, because we typically do stand a pretty good chance against Night March if the Night Marcher draws through his deck. But now that my opponent knows what we play, he might be a little bit more careful there with drawing through his deck. I still think it was the right strategy to go for the energy discarding, the energy disruption. I think that was the best strategy here to deal with my opponent's Pokemon. Try to get those energies in a discard pile. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. If you did, leave a like, leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to enter the booster pack contest if you want to be eligible to win some BREAKpoint booster packs. I hope you have a truly Karp-tastic day, and I will see you on Fun Friday with another episode in this PTCGO series. See you there.
Karp, Karp, Karp. Karp, 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 Karp.